Welcome back, everybody. Airing today on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network across Nevada. Not on Game Plus TV today across Canada, but will be tomorrow. And Bill Lindsay played 777 NHL games with Quebec, Florida, Calgary, San Jose, Florida again, Montreal, Atlanta, in Junior A, in Vernon, and in the Dub in Tri-City. And above all else, he's just a Hall of Fame human being. How you doing, Billy?
I'm doing good. How are you doing this morning, Rod? Or afternoon, depending where you at. Where you at this day? The
I'm in
traveling man.
South. I'm no, I don't go too far. I didn't go too far. Where did you go in the Olympic break? Anywhere?
No, I didn't do much either. I just wanted to relax. Me and my wife just wanted to do some things here, and it was kind of a stay vacation for the both of us. We just hung around, played some pickleball, had some fun, played a little bit of golf, and just kind of relaxed and soaked it all in.
Well, you understand this. When the Panthers reconvened for practice on Saturday, I asked all the staff and players, what'd you do for the break? Nobody went anywhere. Bill, why would you go anywhere when you live in South Florida? Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's a beautiful time of year down. You know that, Rod, how it is down here this time of year. I mean, it doesn't get better. It's just, it's perfect. So, yeah, that's good reason to stay here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm sure you're ready to get back to hockey and back in the booth, and the Leafs are here Thursday night. But I legitimately don't know the answer to this question. Who are you cheering for in the gold medal game, Canada or USA?
Whew, that is really, really complicated for myself because, as you mentioned, I have American parents. I at that time that I was going to the World Juniors and had those opportunities. I was not good enough to make the Canadian team, so I did represent Team USA, the World Juniors, World Championships. Part-time for the U.S. Olympic team on the pre-tour. Didn't make it all the way to the Olympics, but I did wear the U.S. jersey, and there was pride when I put on that jersey and that logo, just with my heritage and background, and I felt a huge connection to the United States. So when I did get a chance to put on the jersey, it meant a lot. It would have meant a lot for Canada as well. But when it comes down to it, Canada gave me hockey. I was born in Canada, Fernie, British Columbia. So those roots are inherited in me. And now that I get older, when it comes to the international stage and I watch the games, I do still find myself rooting for Canada, as odd as that sounds, having worn the U.S. jersey. And I can't take anything away from that experience. They gave me a chance. It was extraordinary. It's just something down inside with your roots. When you're born somewhere and the country gives you something that lasts your lifetime, it is hard to pull against them.
I get it. And listen, I don't mean to put you on the spot. My God, I felt terrible the other day. I asked Paul Maurice how he felt about being the Finnish players want him to coach Team Finland. He was highly uncomfortable with that. He's like, they got enough coaches. I don't know if you saw that or not. And I'm like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I thought he'd be flattered by that, but that's just how humble he is.
yeah, that's a tough question, and for a coach to go over and do that. And as coaches, you can not be from the country and go coach a different team. But for some, that would be a heavy choice for a coach that is decorated as Paul Maurice. I'm sure Paul Maurice yeah, definitely have to think long and hard if he ever decided to go coach a team like Finland. But they do have
I
great
know. I
coaches
guess
over
that's
there. It's one of the best coaches. Both you see all the Finns come out. Why do they need an American coach or a Canadian coach? They're one of the best coached players that you will ever see. 200-foot players across the board.
well, he just seemed highly uncomfortable with it. I'm like, oh, I didn't mean to make you feel like, yeah, I'd have been on the first plane when I was asked to be the voice of Team USA football. I'm like, I'm in, but we're not all the same. We're not all the same. Listen, the viewers are dying to know this, and I always like to give the viewers what they want. Sergei Bobrovsky, we're starting to hear his name in trade rumors. Do you think it's legit?
Uh, some question marks around it. Yeah, that's interesting. With what happens, and it's the last year of his contract. I'm not sure if there's been talk about renegotiations or what's going to happen, or if they want to change the pendulum here to go in a different direction with goaltending. And if that is kind of the case moving forward, Bill Zito has to listen. I guess that would be. It's not an immediate hang up where you might say, okay, no way, that's off the table. I believe that if you do call, that Bill would probably be interested in taking that call. Does it come to fruition? that's a whole different story. It depends on what the offer would be coming back, what he's done for this franchise, what he's meant, the back-to-back Stanley Cups. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame, the Vezina trophies, but he is aging out, and he has struggled this year. So it's no surprise that he's out there with on the rumor market. But the question comes down to it: where are you at that trade deadline as a team and evaluating? Can we get into the playoffs and Sergei Bobrovsky get us there and lead us to the mountaintop? And is it viable for another year? That's the question they sort out. If the answer is no to both those questions, that we don't believe that we're gonna make a serious playoff run, and at his age that he's gonna get any better and help us down the future, then there is a possibility. But yeah, that's a heavy loaded question, Rod.
Oh, yeah, I'm really firing them at you today. I didn't mean to. Um, but I guess number one, it's going to depend if they're in contention or not. And we'll know in the next 2 weeks, right? And then two, I
Yes.
think it kind of I think they have as much respect for Bobrovsky. They would say, Bob, what do you want to do? And I don't know what the
Yeah,
answer
they
of
would
that
go through
would
Bob. I
be.
would agree with that 100%. It's a well-run organization. Um, so that's the difference of me and you talking, and where Bill Zito and Sergei Bobrovsky and the team talking as far as rumors go. There's a lot more inside talk that would be done something with this than either of us on the outside could really get in depth on. So that's something that you can't evaluate, you can't judge. So when it comes down, yeah, Bill Zito would have that conversation. And Bobrovsky's earned that conversation of okay, what we're going to do here in the future, and what our plans are, and what we're thinking. What are you thinking? And it it should be amicable both ways, and it shouldn't be done any other way with these parties, just because what have both accomplished.
Florida Panthers great Bill Lindsay is with us here on the RP show, Silver State Sports Entertainment Network. Listen, your stories are as good as anybody's, and I love trade stories. You got a good one. You got a good one. What was it when you were traded to Calgary or out in Calgary? What was this? What was the story there?
Well, yeah, always different. You get traded. First trade to Calgary, that's interesting. And tell them they 7 years with the Panthers and Calgary. All of a sudden, got traded at 10 in the morning and had a 3 o'clock flight that day to get over to Calgary. So there's for the audience how quick that happens. The real one was the Montreal Canadiens. I took morning skate with the Panthers and got traded in the afternoon to the Montreal Canadiens, who were in town to play the Florida Panthers. So I took my bag down to the dressing room to Montreal and dressed that night as a Montreal Canadian against the Florida Panthers, which was just wild. I was taking morning skate with them, and I'm sure a lot of the fans were confused, seeing why is Bill Lindsay playing for the other team. I went out there, took a run at Peter Worrell, and we were friends, and he wanted to rip my head off a few seconds later. So that's how quickly we became enemies. He chased me all the way to the bench. It was surreal, and that's something that I'll never forget. That trade, just trading locker rooms, is something you just don't see every day, and it is one of the quirkiest parts of our business, but something that happens and can happen.
Well, something I noticed today when I was searching photos of you for our show, you wore 11 and 23. I didn't know that.
hmm
How
Yeah,
did
when
that
23
happen?
when I started here. I forget who got traded, who wore 11, and then I asked Bobby Clark, our GM at the time, very first year, and could I wear number 11? And as a fourth liner, he says, I don't give a damn what you wear. Just, yeah, if you want to change your sweater. It's not like they were selling out sweaters at 23 or anything like that. So Bobby Clark was great. I loved him, but yeah, uh, switched over about, I'd say, halfway through the year. My very first year in a Panther uniform. Got number 11 and wore it from then on as a Panther.
All right. Well, so I got to ask you something else too. I don't know how much of a social media guy you are if you're following the hate out there for Matthew Kachuk. Like, you were a pest. I've been watching you since junior. I told you that, right? You were a sandpaper
hmm
kind of guy. Kachuk is like 10 levels more pest. Like, and do you understand how hated he is, don't you, Billy? Outside the state
Yeah,
of
social
Florida? No,
media,
no,
I
no.
agree. But
He's hated in Tampa too. What a job.
yeah, he's
What
hated.
a
Well,
job he's
what
been having.
happens when you win? What happens when you win? You become a villain. He's outspoken, he's loud, he's not shy. But you backed it up. When you can back it up, you can be outspoken and loud. I have no problem with it, and it's great for the game of the NHL. You need a hero. You need a villain. You always do. It's kind of the way go to any great movie. That's usually the premise, right? There's always the villain. I mean, the hero wins, but the villain part of it. But Kachuk it's good for the NHL. I truly believe that they want to see personality. They want to see who you are. Who are you, genuinely? Not behind the scenes, and just the cookie cutter answers we get from so many. And I don't blame for a lot of the athletes with social media just to give those that they don't want to be put out there on blast. But Kachuk doesn't mind it. He doesn't mind being put on blast. He doesn't. He's going to wear his heart on his sleeve wherever he goes. USA uniform, representing the Florida Panthers. And I tell you one thing, Rod. People that are on his team in the organization or with Team USA, they are happy to have him, and that is the
Well,
bottom line. If you're Matthew Tkachuk, you want to be on his team, and you want him on your team.
well, you might find this hard to believe, but I started this war of controversy in Canada by saying the Panthers would not take Leon Draisaitl over Matthew Tkachuk. The Otter fans are going crazy, going, they think, what do you mean? He's 10 times the player. I'm like, they would not rather have Leon Draisaitl than Matthew Tkachuk. Am I crazy or have I read it right?
Yeah, well, with the money that drives, I think you.
Did we lose Bill? Did we lose Bill? Producer Corey, are you there? Producer Corey, did we lose Bill? Hello? Okay, we lost Billy. Hopefully, we can get him back and potentially producer Corey as well, as things were just getting good. Thank you, everybody. Man, am I going to have to wait until tomorrow night or Thursday night when the Panthers are home to the Toronto Maple Leafs? Um, to find out the answer to that. I feel like I don't mean to be grinding people with all these questions right now, but it looks like Billy's gone. We'll see if he logs back in. It's just me and you, the viewers, here for the rest of this segment and probably until the rest of the hour. There you go, up with the RP show logo. I guess it's a tougher question, a tougher answer to come up with than I thought. But yeah, Sea Lightning writes in and he says, frozen just like Canada's hockey team. LOL. Well, and here's one. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says, a malfunction at the junction. I think I can hear Bill. Do we have Bill back? Is he logged
Yeah,
back
we
in?
got it.
Okay, Billy. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. You were right on the cusp of answering. Would the Panthers,
Let's
I
see
don't
here.
think they would take,
Gotta get this
they
thing
would
set up.
take,
My iPhone got too hot, if you can believe that.
that was my guess.
So
That was my
yeah,
guess.
so and I gotta get my fingers out of the way. There we go. So here we go. So we're outside where it's a little cooler. So my iPhone got too hot. There was a malfunction at the junction. That's the first time that's ever happened.
It's not even a hot day. But you didn't answer my question. They would not take Draisaitl over Kachuk. Like if the Oilers called today and say we'll give
Okay,
you
yeah,
Draisaitl
yeah,
for
that's a
Kachuk,
no. Yeah, that's a no. At this moment, contracts wise, everything that Kachuk's done, that's a no. You're not going to do it at this time. Disrupt chemistry. There's too many reasons for why Matthew Kachuk is here, what he means to this team. So yeah, you're correct. The answer is no at this moment. People forget you got to factor in contracts, salaries, everything into this, and what he means to a team, organization, locker room fit. There's a million things that go into it.
yeah, well, no, sure, money comes into play. He's a fraction of what Draisaitl makes, but you're right.
Okay.
He's a winner. He changed this franchise's fortunes overnight when they got him. Right?
Yep. They did. That was one of the biggest trades. And once that happened, Bill Zito said with the Kachuk thing and everything that was going on that Sorry, I gotta get this phone stable.
You're good.
Anyways, yeah. So Kachuk, that trade for Bill Zito and Jonathan Huberdeau, once they made that trade, it changed the course of our franchise just on a dime. Like that, sent it in a whole new direction. Something that, if you look back on it, one of the best trades that's ever been made in the history of hockey for the Panthers. Reset the organization and brought us two Stanley Cups. It doesn't get better than that in a trade.
Billy, we got about 3 minutes left with you, and I'll let you go. But so the urgency of it's not the second half, it's like the next 40%. I'm going to ask you about the Golden Knights. I don't know if you how much you've been paying attention to them, but you follow the whole league. They're leading the Pacific, yet they'd be out of the playoffs if they were in the East. What do you think the future holds for Vegas?
They're going to go for it. They'll be there. They're around the discussion. That's a team that's all in every single year. They push. Give them full credit with everything that they do. They're going to be around. What adjustments have to be make here towards the trade deadline? I suspect they'll be active again. But that's a team that has a viable cause in the West again this year. It's amazing. Since their inception, Vegas, every year we've talked about them as a legitimate Stanley Cup contender. They've been ever, which is you got to give to come in the league like this and be as relevant as they have. Won a Stanley Cup, been to two Stanley Cups. To have that kind of accomplishments as an organization, and they're bullish. They feel that they got a team that's good enough to win it this year. I feel that if everything goes right, goaltending is an issue in Vegas. They got to figure that out. Maybe they address that. But if they can find a stable goaltender, they should be in contention in the West. Who cares about the points in the East? You need to care where you're at in the West, and they're in a good position in the West.
Oh yeah, well, it doesn't matter about the conference. You're right, and we're gonna have to let you go in about 2 minutes. But this is the thing with Bob. This is what fans don't understand. Bob's got two little kids under the age of 3. Maybe if Vegas wants to acquire Bob, he's like, I wouldn't mind a 2 month break. Go play hockey in Vegas, away from the kids for a while. It's not completely out of
Yeah, that's
line.
crazy. Oh man, we'll have to sort that out. The trade deadline, and it's crazy what's had to happen with the Olympics. The GMs, the coaches, now have to totally adjust and get back into this. And with this condensed schedule, the amount of time that they're playing, this trade deadline is going to be one of the more interesting ones that we've seen in a long, long time. Are you buyers? Are you sellers? Outside the New York Rangers, I think everybody in the East believes they have some sort of a semblance of a chance to get into the playoffs. The West, there's a little bit more teams that are open for business. But how many calls? The seller bids. If you do want to sell, you're gonna the prices coming in. If you're a buyer, the prices are going to be extremely high. There's just going to be so much competition for limited talent. There's just not the availability of teams willing to depart of maybe giving up a chance of getting into the playoffs.
It's going to be one heck of a lot of fun. And for the Panthers, it begins Thursday night when the Leafs are in town. I'll see you then, Bill. Thanks for the time, man. Good to see you again.
Yeah, Rod, appreciate it all the time. Sorry about the phone and stuff that happens, but you're always the best and kind to all your viewers. Just know that you got the real deal there in Rod Pedersen. Yes, like you said, you become a really, really true friend over the years. Love it, the interactions, and man, I'm glad you're in my life. So that's a positive, and keep it rocking and rolling on the show. Keep disrupting as much.
All the same, right back to you. All the same, right back to you, Billy. Thank you. We'll be right back on the Silver State Sports Entertainment Network.